to the days of Marcus Ambrose when he nearly got pushed over the side of the wall in 2005 with Greg Murphy as well. And it's incredible, this place, and that's why we love it.
And here is the grid as it was for heat number 2 earlier today. Adam Poole and Adam Garwood match up once again in those Holden Monaros for this final heat before tomorrow's big IPRA Bathurst Cup. Chris Brown starts out of 3 today with Luke Ratcumbo alongside him. Ian McLennan, Tony Maloney was registered to start alongside. I think you'll find a few of these cars will not be in these positions. Brett Lehman starting down the field there in the 10th row. And at least 40 cars will start this afternoon's final heat race with 100 points up for grabs. Matty Burke's picking up the win today earlier in the under 2 litre category from Kurt McCready, who won the heat number 1 from yesterday's event.
Royce Lyon, who got away with that moment, will start from row number 10 as well. Charlie Viola in that Honda Integra to come from the 13th row with Gary Edwards alongside him in the Holden Commodore VZ. And this entire field snakes their way down Conrod Straight and through down into Murray's Corner before we get a start for this one. And like we mentioned, it's going to be around about 15 minutes of green flag. Hopefully action will get here at Mount Panorama this afternoon.
And the tale of stories on that right-hand side there in what's normally Parc Ferme, now the dummy grid for our support categories, with at least half a dozen cars parked up in there, and their weekend's done here at Mount Panorama. So they make their way to the grid. As Brian said, countdown has already started here, so they'll hustle to at least get 15 minutes of racing around here today. And at the end of this, the points will be added up at the moment. Poole looks good to start from pole position with Garwood. They're separated by just 12 points. 8 points separating first and second when it comes to the points at the end of today. So Poole just needs to stay ahead of Garwood. He'll be on the pole for tomorrow, but that could and possibly will change.
So it's a battle of the Monaros on the front row here. Watch him behind with Chris Brown as well. Luke Ratcumbo got a great start earlier on this morning in that HSV VX Senator. So can he possibly try and work his way towards the front here as well? But he's got to get around these 2 big Monaros. The 28 of Poole on the inside front row, and his outside will be Adam Garwood. Still some cars filing into formation here at the back end of the field, and some cars taking the opportunity to peel in as well. May and Reddy, I think it is, in the BMW M3R that has come back into the lane.
And Brett Porter just behind him, one of the under 2 litre cars that's made their way in. They were starting a fair way down the field for this. We're waiting for the last couple of cars to lock into position at the back of Murray's Corner. Well, those 2 cars are coming to pit lane. Look, they've stopped before they've got to the actual lane line coming into the lane. So the front guys have been sitting there for a little bit of time. Now the temperature got into the high 20s later today. With that sun starting to disappear, you can already feel the crisp air out there. They'll drop away quite quickly. The turbo cars will love this. This is Heat 3 of Autosport, IPRA Bathurst Cup. Cars stalled further down the grid, and some cars struggling to get away and just making contact. And rolling onto the side is the man who got away with that moment earlier today at Solomon Park. Not so this time for Royce Lyon.
Unfortunately, they're tagged the right rear of the stalled car, and we go red flag conditions straight away. So for Royce, it just tipped up. I thought for a moment he was able to bring that car back down and turn it down, but he's parked up there on the side and stuck there on the main straight. The High-Tech Oils pit straight. Red flag, as we said, out instantly. And we hope that Royce is going to be A-OK there. We could see him moving around inside the cockpit. But we'll have to try and flip that car back over before they try and retrieve him out of the car as well.
It was the Corolla coming through the shot here that was slow to get away. He read the play, but just didn't have enough speed to get going. And Royce Lyon just clipped it back. We've seen that at the start of the 1000 back in the early days as well. It's caused pile-ups. And for Royce Lyon, he used up all that good luck earlier today, and it's now on his side, but is climbing out of the number 4 car. But a lot of broken glass on the start-finish line now as he climbs out of that number 4. So the applause of the fans are up there in those grandstands. Here comes the replay of how it went down. So it's the Commodore that stalled. He's looked up, and the Corolla sits just trying to get away, and it stacked the field up behind. He just got the right rear.
Geez, Royce almost got away with it, didn't it? It just made that awkward right rear to left front contact, and it tripped the car up and then stuck on its side. You can see all the glass there. It probably punched out one of the side windows as well, but good to see Royce is A-OK. Good young kid from Mornington down there in Victoria. Competed up here last year in the GR Cup part that he won as the scholarship recipient, in fact, earlier on, that he won at Norwell Motorplex too. So he's a good young kid, great young family. They do a lot in this particular class. And we're hearing some reports down there in the lane that there is a lot of glass to clear up down there, as you can see that with the shots looking down the high-tech oils pit straight there, and there it is.
Oh, it's fine glass too, isn't it? That's going to take a long time. Might even need the street sweeper on that one. And there's bits and pieces of the car that have come away from there. So not even to hell corner on the first lap in heat number 3. We thought the action was wild in the second heat race. And now Royce Lyon on his side here in that top line concreting BMW E30 that's forced a red flag by the fielder trying to drive back around the mountain.
It's not going to be an easy retrieval either, because A, it's parked up on its side, but B, it's actually quite close to the pit wall there as well. So it's going to take a bit of work for our safety crews to actually get that car retrieved. And it's probably a good opportunity as well to thank all of our marshals and our volunteers here this weekend who do such a great job up here at Mount Panorama. And I feel for a lot of them tomorrow, because they're going to have that blue flag out quite a lot in the High-Tech Oils Bathurst 6 Hour itself, with so much traffic around this particular racetrack. And I think if we can, Aaron Noonan's down there in the lane at the moment. Noons, you got an update for us?
Yeah, Brian, I thought I'd seen it all here at Bathurst, but this is something completely new and different. Down here on grid 5, I might get Steve, our cameraman, to poke his camera through the mesh fence. Remember that over the years, I mean, back in the day, it was just concrete wall. There was no mesh fence here, and thank goodness it's here for situations that we could never guess like this. You mentioned before, there's massive glass from grid 5 right back towards grid 7 where this car has ended up. I mean, I've never seen underneath a BMW quite like this anywhere other than in a workshop, but I can pretty much see it all under there, unfortunately. But I mean, good news is driver has been put in the medical car. That's left with him. All looked okay. But now, here is the quandary. This is not in the manual of how to recover a car normally here at Bathurst. Normally it's get it on the truck, tow it away. First of all, we have to get it back on its wheels before we can do that. But the recovery crews, the officials, hey, this is the opportunity to say thank you to all those volunteers, those Motorsport Australia car clubs. It's times like these, we need these volunteers, these officials who make these race meetings happen. The cars are coming back into the pit lane here now under this red flag stoppage condition. So this is going to take some time, and this is going to impact for the final race of the day too, with the Pulsars and also the RX-8. So much cleanup to do out here. I've never seen so much glass on the road in a very long time. So first issue, get the car back and then out of the way, and the second issue is to clear it up, because it's from grid 5 right back towards the grid box behind there, grid 7. So plenty of drama at Mount Panorama for your Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, there certainly is, and it's probably fair to say we won't get a resumption of play here, even though we've still got 10.5 minutes scheduled left of this particular race. But as we know, it's under red flag conditions, and still, as Aaron Noonan said, we've got another race coming up this afternoon as well, as that sun continues to settle in the western sky. So we've had plenty of action here so far today. Matt Nolte, none more so than in Trucko Trans Am.
It's every category's had it today.
Yeah.
From the moment we started the first practice sessions of the morning, and we've pointed out a few times today that with the expanded grids across every category, it's a recipe for these kind of moments to happen. I mean, that could happen with a 6-car grid out there as well. But what we saw earlier today with that shunt at the top of the mountain, as we see the Tutton car coming back into pit lane, beautiful livery, attributing the 1990 success of Win Percy and Alan Grice here in the 1000. And I'm with you, I think that time is perhaps going to beat them here with the setting sun in the distance, and one more race to come. We can't really push the program further because we don't have lights here.
No.
Well, we do, but not to go racing.
And remember, because this is a public bit of road as well, you've got to reopen the road for a lot of the residents that live around the racetrack here at Mount Panorama as well. So the recovery continues there on the High-Tech Oils pit straight. Busy day coming up tomorrow. As we know, we've got a warm-up session for the High-Tech Oils Bathurst 6 Hour early in the morning before we go racing for the 6 Hour itself at 11 minutes, 15 minutes past 11 tomorrow morning. And it's going to be ending just after this time tomorrow afternoon too, as this sun continues to set here in the western sky as we take the V8 Sleuth drone shots over the top at Mount Panorama. You never get sick of seeing that gorgeous sign, Mount Panorama. You can see it over the Great Western Highway as you come into Mount Panorama, and you always get those goosebump feelings when you see that sign for the first time.
You ever done the walk on the new boardwalk they've put
I have.
through? Yeah, how good is it?
It's incredibly steep as well. It's
yes.
at points of the racetrack as well. It's a good workout. But here's what we saw earlier on today, Nolts, because this was a brilliant battle all through the field.
Yeah, the Trico Trans Am Series combined with the TA2 muscle cars with a 41 car grid. It was 40 that took to the track today for race number 1, and everybody held their breath on the first lap thinking we're going to have some sort of trauma out there. That didn't eventuate, but the usual suspects got right down to business. 3 quality drivers at the front there that just went about the sport of motor racing. Hazelwood finally got the move here on Hearn. He waited a couple of laps to pounce on the former champ down here at turn 1. It was a good move to set him up in the second position, and went after James Golding, who scored back-to-back poles and was searching for his 3rd consecutive victory here after clean sweeping the event. That was Warren Wadley in his first moment in the 88. And down here, the controversial moment of the race between Moffat and Morris that saw Moffat get a drive-through, but we didn't see that during the race. And then teammate for Nash Morris, Charlie Nash, arrived on the scene, and heavy contact. Heavy contact also for the 88. That happened on the exit of the chase. They can't back against the tyre wall. Ditto that Robbie Farr, who tried to give Michael Coulter a bit of extra space here going into Griffins. And then this one had a bit of filling in the pits afterwards between Crutcher and Domain Ramsey. We saw Crutcher reverse that car down the hill and behind the wall. Now, he wasn't the reason the safety car come out. That was for Robbie Farr. But Crutcher did a great job just to get that car out of that position, because we saw enough drama there during the day.
Yeah, we've certainly seen drama all throughout the field, haven't we? As Golding was able to lead them off this restart again and watch the entire field file through the top of Mount Panorama. And it was this great battle towards the end, wasn't it? It was all out, all elbows out, but in the end it was Golding got the job done, and a good race win for him as well.
Yeah. The cream always rises to the top in these situations, and while they're licking their wounds again, the cars set up noons, they'll be back out as the curtain raiser for tomorrow's big one here at the Mountain.
They rule, Matt, and we have got a big one tomorrow, the High-Tech Oils Bathurst 6 hour. I thought I'd duck into the garages and come and see how final preps are going before the warm-up tomorrow. Braden Wilmington's here, teaming up this weekend with Dave Murphy and John Bow. You've got a legend joining you. This is a real family operation, but how's things travelling with this new Mustang?
Oh, it's going really well. It's great to have John on board, driving with someone that's won here and had a lot of success here. It's really good. So the thing's not super quick at the moment, but we're pretty happy with where we've ended up, like 23rd in qualifying with the car that was in a wrecking yard less than 12 months ago. We've built it from scratch, and the thing's, it's going pretty well. So we're real happy with it.
It's a little bit of a throwback, isn't it? This takes me back to your dad, who's here. Gary's running the team this weekend. Takes me back to that hard top that he raced here in the late 70s, the black car with the green. But I've got to tell you, you've made the green a lot more green.
Yeah, we've pretty much made a modern take on how it used to be. Back when he raced, that was the livery of his first Bathurst endurance car. This wasn't mine. I raced for Paul Rasm last year. That Falcon, two-door Falcon was car number 29, which was the same as what I ran for Paul last year. And now this year we've gone with that livery, and the first car that we've built together to come and run here at an endurance race at the Mountain. So it's really cool.
And that's the beauty of this race. You can take a car from the wrecking yard and get it here within 12 months on the track and be racing at Mount Panorama. And I might get our cameraman Steve to float around back to me here, because last year Braden named every sponsor on the car during one of our interviews on the TV. Can you name them all now if I do this to you? No, well, look at this. Look at this, Steve. They're back on it again. They're unbelievable, this mob. Anything for the sponsors, Matt?
Attention to detail, fantastic. And the Wilmington name synonymous with this Mountain as well. Young Braden was an S5000 there for a period as well. Great to see them all teaming up. Of course, these days, running the Sydney International Speedway down at Eastern Creek as well. Sadly, the cars from the IPRA Cup have been sent back behind the pit garage, and that's a shame, Wacko, because we're looking forward to a great race to set the field for tomorrow, but the all-important big race is to come tomorrow morning.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So looking forward to it. The sun continues to set here and the shadow is now over here at Mount Panorama Bathurst as we get set for what will be the final race of the day, the Australian Pulsar Racing and Formula RX8 here at Mount Panorama. And your job is probably done, Matt Nolte. Thank you very much for your company. We'll see you again tomorrow morning, hopefully, of course, for Trico Trans Am. This is why we are under a sort of a holding pattern here at the moment. If you're just joining us here at Mount Panorama, Royce Lyon nowhere to go with the car stopped in front there on the start grid and tripping himself up, going onto its side and ultimately coming to a halt there in an awkward position there on the High-Tech Oils pit straight. And thankfully enough though, he was A-OK, was able to climb out of that car, but we've got quite a lengthy recovery effort going on down there, as it looks like Aaron Noonan's on the other side of being interviewed there at the moment. That's a little bit of an awkward situation as the Madden boys are down there. Brock Giblin this weekend too with that particular lineup, but yeah, that's a different role that Aaron Noonan is playing. Good to see him having some fun. We'll get him back to actually doing a real job here, hopefully in just a moment, as I've got the great Gary O'Brien joining me now for this final race of the day. Good afternoon to you again, Gary. Gee, a big moment in that last one though for the IPRA Bathurst Cup.
It's not been a good day for improved production, has it, with that earlier accident up at Reed Park, and now this one off the start.
Yeah, as you can see there, looks like they're still trying to get that Royce Lyon car onto all four wheels because it was very much in an awkward position. Not only was it on its side, but it was up against that High-Tech Oils concrete wall there on driver's left too. So an awkward recovery here for our crews to try and get that car back on all four wheels and quite safely, because the last thing you want to do is cause more damage to it. But I mean, I know you know quite a fair bit about the IPRA Bathurst Cup and of course the history that those cars have had here at Mount Panorama, but we're talking like 3 fields or something once we get to the Nationals later on coming up in at Phillip Island.
Yeah, the National's been going every year since the early 90s, and it normally goes from circuit to circuit, state to state each year. So Adam Poole, who you've seen in that race in the white Monaro, he won the Nationals at Hidden Valley in 2023. At Sydney Motorsport Park, but lost it in 2024 when he had a drama with the car, and it was won by Matt Cherry from Western Australia, also in the Monaro. So Monaro seemed to be a good thing to have in this category at the moment.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Of course, plenty coming up on the Australian motorsport calendar as well. Not to forget Race Winton coming up in August. Of course, April 22 to 24. You can get your tickets right now at www.transam.com.au. Looking forward to seeing those cars at that very famous Winton Raceway. Of course, the High-Tech Oils Race Winton coming up there in August as well. And what a great track that is, of course, out there at Benalla. Tight and twisty, but a place that has had a rich amount of history over the course of the time as well. Going back to the IPRA Bathurst Cup, because Ray Hislop was so strong here for so many years. He's in the High-Tech Oils Bathurst 6 Hour this weekend, but he brought a range of different vehicles up here over his time as well.
Yeah, the 2 Falcons that he had in the course of his improved production career. Actually, I was talking to him earlier. His last Falcon is now being converted into a full-spec sports sedan. So we've almost a GT3 look about it, so that'll be something to see when it comes out.
I think we've actually got Aaron Noonan back to work once again. Noons, what are you up to now, mate?
Brian, I was accosted by the number 10 HSV team who decided to start. I don't know what we were doing. I don't know if we were Instagram living or what was going on then. We've talked all day in the 6 hour about the 8 classes that are in the race tomorrow, and I thought, you know what, we've got to give the classes some love. The little cars, the Class E cars. There are 4 Mazdas in Class E in the race tomorrow. So if one drops out, they're all going to get on the podium, is the simple way that some of the guys on the cruise have told me in the last day or so of how things will operate. These are the backbone of this race. These little cars that keep on keeping on. You might see them quite a few times when the leaders are lapping them, but that is no less in terms of, oh, look out, they're on television. They've gone all quiet here. They've stopped doing work. They've stopped working. Hey, we'll go for a bit of a wander through here and see what's going on. There's another special car that I want to show you here. These little Mazdas, they do an awesome job, these guys and girls. But I'm going to take you back out and around through the pit lane here while we've got a bit of time, because last year there was a cult car in the Bathurst 6 Hour, and I don't think we've really seen much of it today. I want to show you this car, because I think this might be the very final time that the mighty Toyota Camry tackles Mount Panorama. This is the car that raced GTP back in the late 90s here. Remember those 3-hour races? They've replicated the livery. They've done a super duper job. Actually, let's have a little look inside here. I can't see the chook. Remember there was a chook in the front passenger seat back in the day? Earlier in the weekend there was a tissue box on the back parcel deck as well. I haven't managed to find that either. Mustn't have passed scrutineering. But these guys from Queensland, they are the backbone of this race. They were absolutely sensational last year. The leaders did see this car quite a few times over the course of the day. They've qualified, I think, 64th or 65th. They are passionate. They are ready to roll. 710 Motorsport with the Toyota Camry. Probably for the final time here at Bathurst. I'm not sure if they're going to just drive it off the track tomorrow and straight in the National Motor Racing Museum here at Bathurst. But nevertheless, it's so cool to have these guys here. This car has created so many waves, so many people on socials and here at the track are all here for it. It is in the first garage as you come into pit lane. So, look, no one's here. No one's around this car. It's as prepared as any other car, ready to go for tomorrow. But it's a cool part of this race and its story.
What I reckon they're trying to do, dudes, is try to save some weight with the no tissues there in the back, mate. Try to make that thing as fast as they possibly can. Great update there from down in the lane. And that was a cult hero here last year. And I know Jaden was poking a bit of fun at that car when it was announced that it would take part in this year's Hi-Tech Oils Bathurst 6 Hour, because he quoted on social media saying, I look forward to seeing you probably every 3 laps throughout the race.
Yeah, and they've pulled the BMW of Royce Lynn over, or half on this wheel, on the back of the tilt tray, so they can drop the tilt tray down now and the thing will be flat on the ground again.
Great recovery effort there from our teams down there, doing a great job. And like I said, I feel for them tomorrow because they're going to have their work cut out trying to wave those blue flags with the amount of traffic that we're going to see in the Hi-Tech Oils Bathurst 6 Hour as well.
One good thing about no one being around that Camry means that they're all done.
Yeah.
They're ready to go. They don't have to worry about doing any repairs or...
Yeah, they don't have to worry about those repairs, unlike a few other teams. They're going to have all-nighters up and down the lane. Noons?
Brian, I've gone for a wander. I've gone from the Camry to the BMW to Camry to a Cam. Cameron Crick, you and Dean Campbell have got a lot of work to do tomorrow. What's been going on with this car today?
Well, it's been running really good, and then first push lap of qualifying there, the fuel pump having dramas. So, yeah, not ideal, obviously, but yeah, super long race. You know, I think by lap 2 or 3, I think the leaders will be coming around to lap traffic anyway. So it's probably going to be something we're doing all day, is trying to pass people. We're just going to have to start that a little bit further back than we planned. So definitely going for pole would have been nice to have, but yeah, the car's in one piece, ready to go for tomorrow now.
So what grid position are you starting again?
I think we're 69th, I believe. So yeah, it'd be interesting. Yeah, crazy to think we're starting that far back, but makes for the fun of it, I guess.
Well, it's been one here from last before. I think it was 61st a few years ago with Cam Hill, who you know really well. Hey, we're all about records. I mean, we're going to have the biggest field ever in the race's history tomorrow. You could win it from as far back as anyone.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Cam hasn't let me get all upset about starting from this far back straight away. He's like, we've done it before, so... yeah, obviously, yeah, big day, and yeah, you know, the guys have changed up the strategy a little bit, obviously, but hopefully it all works out.
One of the things I wanted to ask you about, change of tyre this year, the Hankook, it's faster. Is that going to suck a few people in tomorrow to go too hard and maybe use up brakes and not have anything left to fight with at the end?
I think so, yeah, and obviously across all the sessions, we probably hadn't had a proper run on the same set for long enough to really know where the tyre's at, so... yeah, I definitely think it's gonna you know, play out differently. So we've tried to save a few sets, obviously, which a lot of people are doing. But yeah, obviously a lot more grip. We're going faster, so we're pushing the envelope a little bit more. So yeah, let's see what happens with these tyres.
This guy's the son of a super truck legend. I'll tell you what, he's going to have to do some trucking on tomorrow here at Bathurst to win from 69th on the grid. Hey, this place, anything can happen. I mean, a car rolled on its side here at the start of a race. Never seen that before. Never seen anyone win from 69th here before. But, hey, why not? Let's write some history tomorrow, hey?
Yeah, great to catch up there, down there in the lane. Thanks for that, Noons. And it's going to be tough for them early tomorrow in the race because they are going to have to pass a lot of the slower cars in front of them. Trying to be patient, I think, is going to be key in that first portion of the race. They'll find that track position at some point because the race will come to them as long as they're patient through safety cars, through pit stops as well. And as we said, it's been done before. Cam Hill and Tommy Sargent were able to do it in 2022, but it's going to be a tough morning for those boys.
Well, you nailed it. They have to be patient. You just can't go full blast and hopefully that everyone's... Because they're going to have a lot of class cars in front of them trying to manoeuvre their positions, trying to get to the head of their class, and you don't want them not seeing you and having an incident like we had this morning with the two BMWs in the third practice session.
That's exactly right. And I know some of the team members are possibly even tonight going to go up and down the lane and actually remind some of the other slower cars, hey, we're going to have an X-Class car coming through the field at a rapid rate of knots here in the early point of the race. So just, be smart, look in your mirrors, have your wits about you, because it's going to be a very, very busy start to that race. As you can see, though, the car was off the grid. Final preparations being done to the racetrack down there. Final clean-up before hopefully we get underway with the final race of the day, the Australian Pulsar and Formula RX8, their third race of the weekend. Plenty to talk about in that particular class, because Charlie Parker has done a remarkable job so far this weekend, trying to complete that clean sweep here in race number 3 of the weekend. And have a look at that sun. That is going to play a major part for these competitors in the final race here this afternoon. It's playing such an effect on that camera, let alone the eyeballs for some of these competitors here in the final race.
Well, actually, you'd want to be looking to see who's starting in that position as well, because it's going to be a bit slippery right about there.
It's actually not a bad shout. Yep, it's not a bad shout there on that inside. Probably, I think it's third, fourth row back there on the High-Tech Oils pit straight. So it's going to be tough indeed on that sort of third and fourth row of the grid, but the crews have done a great job at least cleaning up all that glass, because the last thing that you want is a puncture as well. So many families out here this weekend, and so many families in the High-Tech Oils Bathurst 6 hour as well. About 13 combinations all up in the race itself have got some sort of family connection in terms of a driver lineup for this weekend too, which is great to see. And for so many families, they spend basically all year building the car, preparing the car for this particular event. It means so much to so many people, and it's the opportunity for a lot of these younger drivers to really step up and have their moment in the spotlight. Newts?